Hi, I'm James Fitzgerald, OPEX founder, and welcome to Energy System Training on the Assault Rower. This is the introduction. I'm going to take you through just basically what we're going to cover in the entire course. First, we're going to go through a history of the modality and a little bit of background in terms of rowing in general and how rowing came into be with regards to using it in machines, and then how do we get to this point with the air rower. Such a great piece of modality we can do energy system training on. Then we'll talk about kinematics. Kinematics is a scientific term really to look at the mechanics of the movement that's on the rower, and then how you can best see exactly where you see yourself fitting into what your mechanics are needed in order to do air rowing energy system training. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of a tutorial as to how you can decide upon how you're going to fit into that greatest mechanics possible to do the best you can on the air rower. Limitations mean that we're going to discuss limitations in work. So it's generally the greatest place to go to improve energy system training is try to figure out exactly what are the limitations that are imposed before you can get to those areas of energy system training. So by discussing limitations and what prevents people from getting to those areas of energy system training will allow you to basically, do the best you can on the air rower after you know those. EST right here stands for an introduction into energy system training, and we'll discuss quite a simple a simple way of a complex issue. Yeah, making sense of a complex issue, but making it very simple in what we call gain, pain, sustain, and doing some classifications on what exactly energy system training is. Then, of course, we want to talk about some standards and some things you can look at. So if you're trying to get better on the air rower and you're trying to get better with these different kinds of energy system training, you probably want to know exactly where do you begin and where do you start in each area, so that over time, based upon whatever you do for training, you can come back and look at these tests and see exactly if you are improving what you wanted to try to do in the intervention of training on the air rower. So we'll talk about that for the assessment. Then we're going to break each of these apart: gain, pain, sustain for OPEX. So OPEX, gain, pain, sustain is our naming and classification, as I said, of those aforementioned energy system pieces. And we're going to talk about gain, pain, and sustain in specific to the air rower. So how do you train our definition of OPEX gain on the air rower? How do you train OPEX pain on the air rower, and how do you train OPEX sustain on the air rower? And then next, as over the past 15 to 20 years, a new concept and style of doing work, what we call mixed modal. It's a way of putting a whole bunch of modalities together at one time, and we're going to talk about how mixed modal operates with the air rower in pain and sustain. And I'll also discuss briefly why the G is not here for mixed modal work when we do that. And then second to last, we'll talk about sport specificity. So where could the air rower and energy system training in particular come in to possibly help some sporting situations? And then we're going to finish with an outro to cap all the things you had learned, and then you'll be on your way to be able to improving energy system training on the air rower.